witnessed things strange, unexpected, mysterious, but not to be denied. Join me now and take one step beyond. This is a small storeroom of the Lost Property Department of the London County Council. There are many such rooms, but they're rarely visited anymore because the property stored dates back to the war. Property found on the streets or in the bombed-out buildings, all waiting for claimants who never appear. Like this cheap copy of Venus de Milo, meant to stand in some garden. The ages have claimed her arms. The war claimed her head. Like on what mantelpiece do you suppose this old clock was standing when the bomb hit? Calmly ticking. Time stopped for it at 7:36 a.m. or p.m. What difference does it make? Baby strollers, cartons full of things, all tagged with the place and date of their destruction. The East End Arena, September 17th, 1944. Everything in this room could tell 100 stories. But this boxing glove was involved in a most unusual occurrence. When, on September 17th, 1944, that dark and heavy curtain to the world beyond five senses, the psychic world, was lifted for a moment.
Michael. Hello, Yank. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, it's all right.
I had a bit of shopping to do. Fish and chips. I know. But we're betting the purse, aren't we? I'm financing dinner out of my own pocket, you might say. Never mind. We'll have a real feed after the fight.
What kind of odds you get?
3 to 1 for the old 30 quid. That means we'll get £120 if we win. That'll give us something in our pockets when we go up to the Midlands. Birmingham. Oh, they love light heavyweights up there. Do you see the doctor?
Where do we go to eat?
Well, in the dressing room.
Get any coffee?
Coffee costs extra.
Well, I could sure use some. This is sure crummy.
Here, did you see the doctor?
Yeah, I saw him. Oh, Whitey. Please, go get some coffee.
Oh, what do you want coffee for? It'll only keep you awake. I want you to have a couple of hours shut-eye before the fight.
Coffee never bothered me. You know that.
What doctor?
How do I know what doctor?
Well, you must remember something about him.
I walked up the street and there was a doctor's office.
What street?
Queen Street.
Oh. That would be Dr. Duggan.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. He has a big sign hanging out over the wall, like a blinking cinema. Arthur A. Duggan.
Sounds like him.
Yes. Only that sign was knocked down in a bombing raid 6 months ago.
Well, then maybe it was someone else, and maybe it wasn't Queen Street. All right, Whitey. I lied to you. I didn't see any doctor. You know, I'm getting too old to fight. It's the only trade I know. You know something, Whitey? The Army wouldn't even have me. That's why I'm in the Merchant Marine now.
And why don't you ship out?
Oh, I intend to. But I just wanted a little money. I got my eye on a bar and grill. You ought to see this place. It's a real pretty place. That's a pub. It's a nice little place up in Hoboken, Wayne.
Yank, don't you realize you're risking your life?
But it's my life, isn't it? What am I supposed to do? Sit out in front of some fight club with my cap on my knees saying, please help the poor?
Well, I don't like it.
Whitey, you don't have to like it.
Never mind. I'll get you some coffee.
Anybody need some coffee? I take it this is your fighter.
Mr. Sanderson, Yank Dawson. He manages the other fella.
How are you, Dawson? Sound in wind and limb, I hope?
All right.
Well, I hope so. I really hope so. This my boy's a bit of a savage, I'm afraid. Not much skill, but when he hits somebody, bang, bang. That's all she said, as you Americans would say. Here, drink up. My tiger's late. I'll get some fresh for him when he comes in.
Right, Mr. Sanderson, thank you.
No, Yank. You do remind me of somebody. I was in the States for a bit before the war. Saw a man fight there. You're very like him. Denver it was. Did you ever fight there?
150 million Americans. Stands to reason 2 of them can look alike.
No, couldn't be the same chap. So the man in Denver had a terrible accident not long afterwards. They won't let him fight. Broke his head right open, I heard. Right there.
Must have been someone else you saw in Denver, because I never fought in Denver.
You're a fool to be fighting, you know. It's a nasty scar. You're quite sure you're all right?
Why don't you mind your own business? Of course he's all right.
Well, I hope so. I really hope so.
Why don't you get out of here?
All right, yes, I'm just going to find my tiger. We don't worry about accidents here, do we, Whitey? Not with old Paddy Terhune about.
Who's Paddy Terhune?
Oh, he's dead.
In a manner of speaking. But you didn't tell him about Paddy? I was sure you had. Oh, inhospitable. Very inhospitable.
Oh, come off it now.
What do you mean, come off it? Here's a Yank ready to fight at the old East End Arena, and nobody tells him about Paddy. And Paddy's such a friendly ghost, too.
Mr. Sanderson, I don't want to be rude, but I do want my Yank to have a couple of hours' sleep. So if you don't
No,
mind...
all right, if you don't want to tell him.
Well, little rub down is what you need. Help you to get some sleep. It's Tiger. Alfie Jones. Tiger, mind you, he's very clever with his hands, though. You want to remember that. That's why I told you to crowd him. Understand? Keep crowding him all the time.
What was all that about a ghost, Winnie?
Oh, you don't want to pay no mind to Sanderson and that stupid...
Well, I've had so much bad luck in the last few years, I guess I'm just getting jumpy, Winnie. I'm sorry I acted like a kid.
That's all right, boy. I don't know why I made such a fuss about it myself. Like Sanderson says, Paddy Terhune's a friendly sort of ghost anyway. He was Empire middleweight champion when he was only 18 years old. Back in 1905, that was. So when he fought Brian Cleary in 1931, he must have been 44. That's getting on a bit for a boxer, you know. And he wasn't Empire champ no more. He had a gold watch, a few good memories, and a blood clot, what nobody knew about. He fought Brian Cleary right here in the East End Arena. Brian liked the old boy. Wanted to make it quick like, you know. So he knocked him out in the second round. That was an act of mercy, Brian thought. Only that blood clot of Paddy's got dislodged. He died before they could get him into the dressing room. Well, that upset Brian a bit. Of course, he soon got over it, you know. I mean, he knew it wasn't his fault. Only 4 years later, Brian went crackers. Just before a fight one night, he suddenly started raving and swearing something awful. He said he'd seen Paddy Tyrone. Seen him, mind you, with Paddy dead 4 years already. Brian says that Paddy just stared at him and shook his head slowly from side to side, like he was trying to tell him something. And Brian says, well, what could he be telling me except, don't you fight tonight, my boy, or you'll wind up like me. Well, he fought anyway. And he was winning too, hands down. Until Frankie Shane, fighting him back as best he could, suddenly caught him with a lucky right. Oh, what a whopper. Caught him high on the forehead and pitches Brian towards the ropes and through the ropes. And he smashes his skull on the ring post. Well, now, you know as well as I do, that could never happen again in a million years. But blimey, you should have seen the newspapers. Ghost of East End Arena, they said. Paddy Tyrone back from the dead, and all that sort of tripe. See Paddy and die, they said. And there's talk of even some others, but I don't believe it. I don't believe any of it. Coincidence, that's all it is. Pure coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Who are you? What do you want?
What's going on
He's
here?
in there, Whitey. I saw him.
Who?
The fellow you were telling me about, Paddy Tyrone, he's standing in there.
Ah, you must be dreaming.
He's in there, I swear. Look for yourself.
In where, did you say?
Believe me, Whitey, he was standing right here, and I wasn't dreaming.
You weren't dreaming, Yank. What kind of a ghost takes his leave by the window? I'll tell you what kind. Come on, I'll show you your ghost.
Listen to him out there. You're going to ruin me.
Well, don't look at me. He's the one what's ruining you. Him and his psychological warfare.
I got contracts with the both of you.
Well, we're ready to fight.
Then you two can fight. I'll tell you straight out, my boy isn't going into the ring until he admits what he done and apologizes for it.
And just what am I supposed to have done?
I had somebody to impersonate Paddy Tyrone. That's what you've done. Trying to scare my boy.
What's all this about?
That ghost was a fake.
Oh, maybe it was, but that doesn't prove that I had anything to do with it.
Who else? Who else had reason? It's your boy we're fighting, and you was offering odds of 5 to 1.
Got confidence in Alfie, that's all.
Well, that's another thing. Look at him. Cool as a cucumber. Quiet as can be.
Here, got nothing to do with me. I'll say fight.
Well, that's just it. Your opponent saw Paddy Tyrone, and you say fight. Aren't you scared you're gonna kill him? Cleary and Kawicki saw the ghost and they was killed in the ring. Why doesn't it bother you that the man you're fighting is going to die? I'll tell you why. Because it's a fake and you know it.
If what you say is true, it's a case for the Boxing Control Board. Unsportsmanlike conduct by a manager.
You insisted that my boy heard about Paddy Tyrone, and you knew he was going to take a few hours' sleep. That gave you plenty of time. How long did it take to sew Paddy's name onto that sweater?
Now, look here, Whitey.
And who did you hire to do Paddy Tyrone? Which one of your flunkies was it? Willie Davis? He's about the right age and size.
Who's Willie Davis?
Oh, some used-up old fighter who'll do anything for a few quid that he can take across the road to the red line and turn into whiskey. And we don't have to ask his permission to go over there and ask Willie to talk, and he'll talk, in the interest of justice and better boxing and a few more drinks. Come on.
No, wait. All right. I did it.
There you are, you see?
Willie played the ghost. It was my idea. Well, I know I shouldn't have done it, but Willie looks almost exactly like Paddy, and with a little makeup. Well, I just couldn't resist it. There's nothing criminal in it, mind you. It's just psychological warfare, just like we do on the Germans, that's all.
Only that happens to be war, where all is fair, so they say. But this is boxing.
All right.
Which is supposed to be a sport.
Well, maybe it wasn't sporting.
Maybe.
All right, then it wasn't sporting. You've never done anything that you're sorry for?
Well, if I did, I said I was sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Yank.
If everybody's quite satisfied, let's have a fight.
Oh.
Now then, what happened over there? Did you just get careless?
That fellow I saw in the dressing room. You know, Davis?
Well, what about him?
He's sitting up there in the last row. I saw him. It kind of confused me, I guess.
So Sanderson's still up to his tricks, is he? I'll flay him alive. Here, what kind of scum dumb are you?
Oh, what's the matter?
That's what's the matter. Look up there.
What's all this about?
Lighter, he's gone and done it again, that's what. He's got his phony ghost up there, as big as life, and it's scaring my boy. I want him out of there.
Well, I don't see him.
Oh, yeah, he's there, all right.
You bet your life he is, right up there in the back row.
That's what I didn't tell him to. He must have bought a ticket. There's no crime in that.
I've had enough of this.
Well, I want him out of there.
Oh, go on, finish him.
Finish yourself. Protect yourself, Yank.
Let's get him to the dressing room.
No, he must not be moved. Get a doctor quick.
Easy, Yank. How do you feel?
All right, I guess.
You want to try to sit up?
Yeah.
Will it be all right, Doctor? Yeah, he's had a slight concussion, but he'll definitely be all right.
Yeah, you hear that, Yank? You're going to be fine, boy.
I didn't say he'd be fine. I said he'd be all right. No more fighting, Yank. You hear that?
I guess you're right, Doctor.
Well, let him rest here for a few minutes. Then he can get dressed and go home. Oh, bring him in to see me tomorrow.
Righto, Doc.
Look here, White here. I'm sorry about all this.
So you should be. Lot of nonsense. Your boy would never have beat him if he hadn't been distracted.
Is there a Mr. Sanderson here?
I'm Sanderson.
Mr. Sanderson? Yes? At the devil's own time finding you, sir. Do you know this man?
Yes, Willie Davis. Why were you sitting in the back row, Willie?
Beg your pardon, sir, but the only place he's been sitting is at the police station. Under the influence, as you can see.
But he couldn't.
I picked him up in the Red Lion pub. There were some there that said he stole the money he spent there. But Willie said that you'd vouch for him, that you gave him the money.
So that's true.
How long has
But
he
I-
been in custody?
Well, for the last hour, I'd say.
That's impossible. Why, we saw him sitting here in this very arena, wearing that foolish sweater not 10 minutes ago.
Couldn't have been him, sir. 10 minutes ago, he was still unconscious. Come on, Willie.
But I saw him too, between rounds. I thought Mr. Sanderson was still using psychological warfare.
Well, it couldn't have been Willie.
Then it was Paddy Cahoon himself. I saw Paddy. I'm going to die.
Oh, shut up. Must be some explanation.
I saw him twice.
We all saw him.
Not me, remember? I didn't see him.
The rest of us aren't all going to die.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
The German bomb, aimed presumably at the waterfront, struck the East End Arena about 12 o'clock. The newspapers called it good fortune that only 5 people were in a building that only a few hours before had held so many more. 4 were killed. The promoter Collins survived to tell what happened. And thus the legend of Paddy Terhune was once more revived. If you see Paddy, you die. But is that all it really was? I mean, a legend. Well, of the 5 men, the promoter Collins was the only one who didn't see Paddy. He was also the only one who didn't die. Next week, and every week, we'll be bringing you the personal records of the rarest kind of human experience. Man's adventure in the world of the unknown. That mysterious psychic world beyond our 5 senses. This is your invitation to take with us that astonishing one step beyond.